Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah. This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Good to have you on board. This show is brought to you by DraftKings. We're live, as always, downtown Las Vegas, Circa Resort and Casino. It feels weird that we have a Game 6 in any final, right, on a Friday night. I love it. It's great. And Dennis Bernstein, a longtime friend here of the show, great individual and a human being overall, awesome on the NHL, covers the sport for the fourthperiod.com. He's on the pregame tonight on SiriusXM NHL. He is live this morning from the site of Game 6 in Edmonton. Joins the program now. Good morning, buddy. How are you today?
I'm doing great. If I was the type of guy that blushed, I would be blushing, but I'm not. So thank you for all the kind words. Appreciate it. But yeah, we're ready for Game 6 up here. Okay,
so are the Panthers ready for Game 6? And I think if you go back after, Game 3, the narrative was, well, this is over with. It's a bad matchup. I think I definitely said that right for Edmonton, and it completely flipped. And now it's like, well, nothing's going right for Florida. But as we've seen, like, this stuff can stop on a dime and flip the other way. Does it flip tonight? Do the Panthers end this thing?
Yeah, well, look, the Panthers weren't ready to win the Cup. They were horrible in Game 4. And I get it, because you're not going to sweep the Oilers. You're not going to sweep teams in the Stanley Cup. It's in 26 years. It doesn't happen. They gave a great effort. But in Game 5, what a horrible game they played. I mean, I know it was one-goal game, but they weren't ready. They gave another shorthanded goal to start the game.
Yep.
They weren't aggressive. You talked about all year about how aggressive this team is, how they pound you. They backed off the Oilers. And then they took stupid penalties, made mistakes again on the power play. They're not, and I'll tell you, as much as we all love Paul Maurice in the media, he's so eloquent. He's got to coach up his team, and he's got to be better. He's making 3 lineup changes tonight, and if they go reverse history and get reverse swept, like it's not going to look good for Paul Maurice. It really isn't. They got to be the more desperate team tonight. They got to be the more physical team, and they have to be the more smarter team, which hasn't happened in these last 2 games. Now, Mitch, you asked about momentum. I don't know. Like from game to game, there's no momentum in hockey.
No.
Because you couldn't tell me after Game 3 and watching the team play and the crowd isn't into the game that they win 8-1. So who knows what happened tonight, but the Panthers had to be way better, way smarter, or we're going back to sunrise for Game 7.
No, you're exactly right. I mean, 11 penalties the last 2 games, and now Edmonton getting the power play going. You mentioned the shorthanded goal. How does that happen? Right, 5 minutes in. So that's big as well, and I think the first goal tonight's enormous. That could decide this.
Bad pass by Brandon Montour that led to, and Connor Brown, who's done nothing all season, finally showing up in the games, 4 and 5. It's been great for them. And the special teams is going to be key. You're right. Absolutely right, Pauly. The Panthers have to play them at least even. Their power play walk up the Oilers in Game 5. And now Game 6, if it happens again, we're going to be going back to South Florida. This is going to be a very dramatic game, because as great as the crowd was, Pauly, and I mentioned to you this before we went on, they won Game 4 here, and it was 8-1. First of all, everybody stayed in the building. Usually 8-1, everybody's gone, going home, going and trying to fight traffic. Everybody stayed in the building. And when I left the building, they were celebrating like they won the Stanley Cup. They were down 3-1. So if they win tonight, I can imagine what's going to happen in the city. But the Oilers have more than a puncher's chance to send us back down for Game 7.
Well, no one's ever clinched in Edmonton on their home ice. How about that?
Oh, is that right?
Correct.
They have that angle, too. Yep. So, they're also going against Gretzky a lot of those times. But you also have to factor in that McDavid's playing like Gretzky as well. You got to be concerned about Bob. It's been bad Bob here. And that was a softie, that McDavid goal. And suddenly he's been lit up now, and they found something. How concerned are you with his play?
A little concerned, but the guys in front of him were very good. The best defenseman for the Panthers in Game 5 was Oliver Ekman-Larsson, who's like their 5th or 6th best defenseman. Ekblad wasn't great. I mentioned Montour wasn't great. It was a bad defensive effort for half the game. Now, they woke up. They made it very dramatic at the end. But, yeah, you're a little concerned about Bob. But, again, this guy won 2 Vezina trophies. He's been great throughout the playoffs. But, yeah, after that, you watch that game and saying, okay, that one shot shouldn't go in. But it is Connor McDavid. There's probably one guy that can make that shot. Unfortunately for Bob, that's who he's playing tonight. So we'll see what happens. But, yeah, he's got to be better and he's got to be sharper. He has been in a big spot, so we'll see.
So you've covered the sport for a long, long time. You're well-connected as well. You have a vote for the Conn Smythe? If not, do you talk to all these guys who are voting on this award and gals who are voting on it? Where are they at right now? Can Connor McDavid win? He's minus 275 this morning to win it. Mm-hmm. Can he win the Conn Smythe even if Edmonton loses the series?
I have voted in the past. I don't vote this time because it's usually a group of 12 or 13 voters, a few from Florida, a few from Edmonton, and some nationals. But during Game 4, if they had won Game 4, I think it would have been Barkov. Right now, Mitch, here's the thing: take out Draisaitl and Hyman and Bouchard because they're the beneficiaries of what Connor's doing. The next highest scorer in the playoffs is Barkov, Alexander Barkov, with 21 points. Connor has 42. How do you not vote for the guy? He's led this team. And maybe not tonight, but if he takes it to 7, you have to. And now you have a scenario where the losing team might have the Conn Smythe winner. The only other option I see here is if there's a heroic performance by somebody. I'll give an example. They win tonight 3-1, the Panthers, and Bob has 48 saves. Then maybe for some recency bias for a game tonight, maybe. But again, the Conn Smythe is different than the other MVPs of other sports. It's for the entire playoffs, not just the final. So when you look at 42 points, and we're talking about Wayne Gretzky stuff, as you mentioned, only one other player has 4-point games back-to-back in the Cup final, Wayne Gretzky and Connor McDavid. Like the disparity between himself and the rest of the players in the playoffs, it has to be him. I don't know how you can make the case for anybody else other than he's the best player on the winning team, which would be Barkov right now, because Bobrovsky wasn't the better goalie in the Boston series, Swayman was, and certainly wasn't the better goalie in the Rangers series, Shesterkin was, but they found ways to win.
That's another good point. Oh, yeah, well done. Do you remember the only time it's happened from a non-goalie, Reggie Leach? That's the only guy who's done it. Yeah.
Yeah, in 76, I'm old enough to remember that because I was a Flyers fan back then. He scored 19 goals.
Yes, he did.
So, yeah, and it's been, and I remember Jean-Sebastian Sager in 2003, won as a member of the Ducks, but it's usually been a goalie. But for this, because Pauly, there's such a disparity in the numbers, how do you not give it? It's the best player in the playoffs.
That's a good breakdown.
He's not the best player in the playoffs with what he's doing.
No, you sold me. It's a great breakdown. What's it like there with can Canada end the drought? You mentioned what happened after they won 8-1. What's it like if they can win this tonight? And I know hotel rates are $3,000 a night. It's bedlam. What's it like there in Edmonton?
So I had a guy sitting next to me. I flew in I connected from LA through Seattle. And there's a couple of people, we're coming up. We're all the friends. We're coming back home, California, Texas. The guy next to me is from Bangkok. He's flown in from Bangkok to watch this game.
What?
That's how crazy this market. Yeah, seriously. It's how crazy this market is. So, look, here's the thing of that narrative about Canada rooting for the Oilers.
Right.
I'm sorry. The Vancouver Canucks fans are not rooting for the Oilers. The Calgary Flames fans aren't rooting for the Oilers. And if you're a Leafs fan, you're probably not rooting for the Oilers. So if you're a passive Canadian hockey fan, I assume you're rooting for the Oilers. But this city's going to be upside down. If they win and take it to 7, it's going to be a memorable night no matter what. I've been in this building for the last 5 years. It's loud. It's the loudest building in the league. It's going to be the loudest of the loud tonight.
Yeah, well, especially if they score the first goal. But if they don't, you can hear a pin drop probably in that building tonight. Dennis Bernstein, our guest at fourthperiod.com. He is on the pregame coverage on Sirius XM NHL Radio tonight for Game 6 Stanley Cup Final in Edmonton between the Oilers and the Panthers. Have you been to every game in the Cup Final?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've flown back and forth.
So tell us about this then. What's the travel like? Going from South Florida all the way up to Edmonton, and are the players at all talking about this, how it's wearing on them?
No, because they have charters.
Yeah.
And the one charter coming out of South Florida because of the storms after Game 2 was delayed. But like my partner Dave Hagnon in the fourth period, like he couldn't get out before the storms came in after Game 2. It took him 30 hours to get to Edmonton. Like that's how brutal it's been. Ooh. And I've gone home. Like I've gone home to LA because there's 2 days between, when they change cities. I go home to LA and then yesterday, or I'll fly nonstop home if there's a Game 7, on Sunday, and then fly. I'll take a red eye to Fort Lauderdale on Monday. It's been brutal travel for the media and everybody, but the players. I don't think it's worn on the players because they get 2 days off between these travels. And I know people have been whining about the season's too long. The same people that whine about that, Mitch, are complaining that the season that the playoffs need to be expanded. So you want to expand the playoffs, and then you're going to complain about the season being too long? Come on. So it's been brutal for fans and for the media. For the players, not so much. I don't think the players are tired. I don't see any wear and tear from these players. I will tell you this. There's a lot of guys banged up. Most of these players aren't 100%, but I don't think the travel factors in as much as people won't think it would.
I would actually say, thank goodness they have the extra days baked in for a series such like this, right? I think they got to do this every year moving forward, right? You don't want to have these teams traveling from South Florida to Edmonton and playing every other day. That'd be ludicrous.
And NBA Finals just finished. It's not like the NBA Finals finished 3 weeks ago, and now you're doing the Stanley Cup Final. You want these players rested. Yeah, it would be easier and less travel. Let's say it was Florida and Dallas, and they could do one day between games, possibly. But that's not the case, and that's what happens when you have a league with 32 teams and you have Canadian teams. It's going to happen. It happened this year, but I don't hear the players complaining about it. They're hockey players.
Sure.
Drop the puck. You want to play. It's as simple as that.
What did you think of the Kachuk play? Could you believe that, to save the goal in the empty net? McDavid put it in right after. But the hustle play?
Yeah, great hustle. It's also great that he finally scored, Pauly.
Yeah.
It's been 9 games since he scored. And then he made the guarantee in Game 5, and they didn't win. Like, we're going to go get that, the greatest goal of our lives, and we didn't go win. So, yeah, he's got to show up tonight, too, or in Game 7. So it's going to be crucial that he shows up because they're feeling it right now. I don't think they're the most confident team right now. They really have to come out hard. The first 10 minutes, like you said, is going to be key for this team. And if not, we're going to see you on Monday night.
Like 30 seconds here. Any player prop or a final score prediction out of you tonight?
No, but it's going to be the over. Like early in the series, under 5.5, over 5.5, without question. And I'll go with Evan Bouchard anytime goal because they might get one on the power play, but definitely the over. This is not going to be a low score game tonight.
Excellent, man. Great appearance as always. Follow him on X. He's at Dennis TFP, and he's going to be on the pre-game coverage tonight. How awesome is that? Game 6 Stanley Cup Final from Edmonton on Sirius XM NHL. Thanks, Dennis. We appreciate it.
Mitch, Pauly, it's great being on Follow the Money. Thanks for the time.
Back at you.
Thanks, Denny.
Dennis Bernstein here on the Progressive guest line. Over tonight, and then bump it up to 6 for Game 7, and then go under. Pauly recaps last night's betting action with Win Some, Lose Some coming up next on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Last night? Wow, winning. Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser! Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
All right, we got a lot here. This is going to be fun. Slovenia, Serbia draw plus 275. Denmark, England draw plus 250. Tom Kim, first round leader, 37-1. And for the 6th time in the Euros tournament, we've had an own goal. Now, we need your help. This is hard to find, but I remember it was all over the place when we were talking World Cup, and you could find this. I bring it up because it's usually, if my memory serves, it's like 7, 8, 10-1 in that range. As Nigel tweeted, it leads the Golden Boot now. I mean, we've had 6 own goals already, and if that's 8-1, what a start to this tournament. Has it happened again yesterday?
We also got feedback from big soccer fans who do not like how these are getting graded or ruled during the match. For example, if a guy is kicking it towards the net and it goes off a defender and goes in, they're calling that an own goal. Like that's not an own goal. That's absurd.
Yeah.
And that's not they were not doing that in the World Cup.
Well, we also had controversy, and imagine if you had this. In one of the matches, somebody scored 10 minutes. It was an own goal, 10 minutes in. In the same match, in the 92nd minute, they changed it and credited it to a player.
Well, that will get corrected then with the betting market.
Or maybe if they posted it and graded it right away. Maybe if you had
some books will grade that right away.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Maybe if you actually had the ticket. I don't know. That's wild too. And Sparks Liberty over 162.5 up to 167.5. 93.80 Liberty. That goes over. And the Padres. I'll put it with Win Some. Padre fans lose some for Derek Stevens. Remember, if the Padres have a walk-off win at home, Circa gives away limo, airfare, a suite here, $500 at the steakhouse at Barry's, $2,000 for a cabana here at Stadium Swim, drinks at the Legacy Club. They did it 2 times all of last year. 3 straight home games the Padres have won on a walk-off.
3 straight. Remember, they were crying earlier this year. It doesn't happen. We don't get walk-offs. Well, careful what you wish for.
That's right. Subscribe, be part of the team. VSiN.com, our radio and podcast friends. You always want to see these tweets and videos. 13 years ago, yesterday, the Bruins won the Stanley Cup and went to Foxwoods. And their bar tab was $156,000. In the service charges, almost $25,000. They got off easy. You look at this, somebody got the big bottle, the Ace of Spades. That thing was... They also got off easy with the water. 13 years ago, They got 67 Fiji for $2.68. $4 for a bottle of Fiji. Well, come on. You're looking at probably 15 now. I love the guy someone got an Amstel Light and a Corona. Like, who are you kidding? You see 9 bottles of Grey Goose, 4 bottles of Crown, 35 Jaeger bombs. The Bruins did it the right way. In a $156,000 tab when it was all said and done. But it's fun to go through it and look at it about some of the stuff about who would order this. And then you see the water on there and then some of the stuff in one Corona, one Amstel Light.
I mean, we're looking back now. Some of the prices are not even that outrageous.
Yeah.
The 7 Jack Daniels at $10 a pop. Wait, what is that? Is that Jack and Coke? Is that a shot of Jack? $10? Okay. Now what is that? $20, $25?
Yeah, someone got a shot of Hennessy, $12. Someone got a Patron Silver, $12. I mean, that's you get off easy there.
Oh, we are trained now, to expect beers to be $13 a pop.
I know. That's wild. You mentioned this yesterday on the air. Someone sent in the video. Here it is.
You reminded me of this.
Good for you.
I forgot this existed, this video.
Mitch throwing out the first pitch we talked about at the 51s game, the AAA affiliate here. Good form on the rubber.
I held the wind up.
Held it.
Boom. Right down the center.
Beautiful.
Point to the crowd. I'm a pork chop. My God, this is 18, 20 pounds ago probably.
Yeah?
Yep.
Good. You didn't embarrass yourself, and you did an excellent job. You worked on it right down the middle. Didn't bounce. Good form.
Somebody was saying that they once sat in front of Jerry Seinfeld at a Mets game.
Oh, no.
And he was talking about throwing out the first pitch. Remember how it was a disaster for him?
I know.
And he was explaining to the person that he was with at the Mets game, he said, it's the most nervous I've ever been in my entire life. And he practiced for a full week.
Stand-up comedian.
It does.
Wow.
Because people are bothered by other things. I wasn't going to screw this up. There's no way. I went out all week long and was throwing the ball around.
All right. I've never seen this before. And this is new. The Raiders are offering premium air-conditioned tailgate spaces starting at $20,000. 4 available per game. There's the video. You see some pictures there as well. And hell of a setup. And then you invite all your friends. You whack it up. You see all the alcohol you have. And you get air-conditioned, sit outside. There's an upstairs. There's a downstairs. Giving it a shot. 2-story structure that seats 20. All-inclusive packages, $20,000 per unit.
Hey.
What the Raiders are doing. Love dogs. They're so smart. Look at this. The guy got out. This dog got outside, and he's trying to wave down a human about, help me, I'm out. Ring the doorbell, please. Look at this. Tracks down a human finally. Ring the doorbell. Jumps up, right? The neighbor comes out, rings the doorbell. They open the door. Hey, he got out. Oh, okay, there you go, back home. He knows where he lives. He knows he did something wrong. He tracks down the human. Need your help here. I got out by accident. And then the neighbor helps out by ringing the doorbell. The one video we showed a couple months ago, the dog rang the doorbell.
Sure.
The dog got outside, and he rang the doorbell and then started barking.
The person here in the video actually asked the person who answers the door, is this your dog? And then walks away.
Yeah.
So very good job.
Excellent. One lose some. The Yankees 135 up to 170. How about that? Heel got lit up.
Oh, buried.
17-5 Orioles.
Yeah, he's the guy I forgot to mention. Some of these starters are getting blown up here this week.
Mm-hmm. That was the one lose some. Let me. What do you think of this tweet? So we talked about it yesterday. This was Ken Palm after the show. 76 teams is totally irresponsible expansion. I don't understand why people are so hostile to it. It would have been cool to have Indiana State in last season's tournament. So what if it came with St. John's and Oklahoma joining them? He says 80's the perfect number.
Why?
Ken. Come on, Ken. No. You can't.
Well, last year,
I tell you, and every comment doesn't agree with them. That's what I like, though, too.
Okay, well, here's
the thing.
It's
watering down the product, the bad records. Everyone gets a trophy. We're getting out of control here.
Right. Last year, it was a good bubble. Those 3 teams are good examples. Well, I'd say 2, St. John's and Indiana State for sure.
Yeah.
How many years in recent times have we had a good bubble?
Yep. I know. I think that's what he's forgetting, no doubt. So I put that under lose some. Let's go to Norway. This rock.
Thousands of people go here and visit it every single year.
Are you serious?
Look at that.
Oh, no. The boulder that's stuck in the middle and you cry. I couldn't. Oh, no.
I had a tough time getting through this video.
Why would you? Oh, I can't. I'm afraid of heights. I stand no chance. No.
I'm okay with certain, like, roller coasters, whatever, going to the top of the stratosphere doesn't bother me. But something like this, oh, man.
No.
Look at this.
Oh, no.
Look at that video.
Looking all the way down. I can't do it. No. In Norway, where the boulder's stuck right in the middle and people standing on it, and then that's something out of Game of Thrones.
It's Mission Impossible.
Like it. That too, right?
You're thousands of feet up.
Yeah.
If you slip, see you later.
No way. Couple of bad beats. Remember, we talked about this yesterday, and it happened again. Serbia tied it on the last kick of the game in the 95th minute. The worst beats happen in soccer, I'm telling you. Slovenia plus 445 was a tough beat. Serbia scores. The keeper comes up, everybody comes up, and they score on the final kick. Denmark, England over 2.5. It was 1-1 in the 35th minute. 1-1 was the final. Our NFL betting guide comes out next week. Your ultimate resource for the football season. Division previews, team previews, prop bets, win totals, best bets. You got to be a VSiN Pro subscriber to get it. Sign up for the annual subscription for $1.99. It works out to 13 months, less than 50 cents a day. VSiN.com/subscribe, code FTM. Code FTM, get it now. If you have any videos, you can message me too at Pauly Does Vegas on Instagram. Pauly Does Vegas on Instagram. Any dog videos, anything you want to share. And thanks to all the people who've been sending them throughout the last couple months as well. Some good stuff up there. We'll put you on TV. It's that easy. Slovakia on the 1-0.
Okay.
We got an early one. 17 minutes in. We got a goal already in the Euros.
All right. Good guest today on the show, by the way. Yeah. Missed any of it, go back, listen, follow the money wherever you get your podcast. Very good breakdown on the Euros. Lou was excellent an hour ago. Dennis Bernstein, very, very good earlier this hour on Game 6 tonight. He's in Edmonton, and Mike Pritchard will talk some Broncos with him coming up in about 5 minutes here on the show. You think that June's going to be a little bit slow once in a while, or July. It doesn't slow down really.
And we made it, pretty much.
How far away from the Hall of Fame game? Like 30,
August 1st.
Like 35, 37 days or something like that now?
Yeah.
Countdown is truly on at this point.
August 24th, college starts. We play for keeps.
Yeah.
Florida State, Georgia Tech, and Ireland, and SMU, Nevada.
This year, with all these teams, we're going to have some really good teams with losses right out of the gates in college football. And it won't affect them, though, this year. Your season's not dead.
That's a good prop. How many 3-loss teams will make it?
I love that prop idea. So we'll get into the Broncos with Mike Pritchard coming up next. He played for them. We'll ask how high he is on Bo Nix in his rookie season. Next on Follow the Money, it's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Good to have you on board. Mitch and Paul live in Vegas, Circa Resort and Casino, talking NFL here, specifically the Denver Broncos, AFC West. As Mike Pritchard joins the program now, he is on the progressive guest line, VSiN contributor, played in the NFL for a decade, including this Broncos organization. Good morning, Pritch. Thanks for the time today. How are you?
I'm great. Good morning, fellas. How you guys doing?
Doing really well. So you're still very well connected in that great city. Bo Nix this morning is minus $4 to be the week 1 starter for the Broncos. Is it pretty much a lock, in your opinion, at this point, that he's going to be the week 1 starter? And what are you hearing about him as we get closer and closer to camp?
Well, they want him to be the week 1 starter. That's what I'm hearing right now. Whether or not he establishes himself that way remains to be seen. It's all about preseason for Bo Nix right now. Think about it this way, though, from a betting standpoint. He's not third team. He's listed right now, solidly listed as the backup. And anytime you're listed as a backup, obviously the offseason has gone well. Now, depending on what Sean Payton's going to do with this offense, whether or not they're going to open it up or certainly they're going to be structured, that'll get Bo Nix's feet wet, right? I don't think Denver is like in the mode that they're going to win a Super Bowl, even win a division. They're rebuilding, trying to establish something. And the quicker that they can establish Bo Nix, the better off they'll be long term. So Stidham's the starter right now, certainly in offseason. But if Bo Nix establishes himself and certainly plays well in offseason through preseason, I expect him to be the starter.
Yeah, well, I want to flip it for a second then. I used the word lock, which you don't do in gambling, but I said as of right now. So if it doesn't go well for him, he's not going to be the guy then, huh? You would probably, and it's got to be, if it's not him, it's got to be Stidham and not Zach Wilson, right?
No, yeah, Zach Wilson. I mean, I don't know what's going on with that guy. Arm talent, he's Jeff George, right? We've been around long enough to see Jeff George. At least Jeff George did something. But I don't know what's going on with Zach. I mean, arm talent galore. But no, Bo Nix. Think about Sean Payton and that offense too. I mean, it's not Drew Brees. It's going to be precision. It's going to be short passing games. It's going to be screen games. It's going to be all this high percentage stuff. And then also run the football. And if we can take a shot down the field with one-on-one coverage, we're going to do that. That's not complicated. I think Bo Nix is old enough, been around enough to understand that. Stidham is a backup quarterback. Bo Nix was drafted to be a starter. And to me, the sooner that you can get him entrenched in that position, leadership skills and everything, sooner the better with Denver Broncos as they rebuild this thing.
Zach Wilson blows. Jeff George he could sling it. He took over for Randall Cunningham. They won a playoff game. Did you know him? Yeah. He was a prickly pear, right?
Yeah, he was. I played against him in college. Beat his ass, Pauly.
Okay.
In college, but no, he was a quitter back then. We saw that in college, even with a good Illini team, right?
Oh wow, Mike!
I'm not holding back. I'm too old to hold back at this point. But no, he, just so much talent, wasted talent. What's that? What, Bronx Tale, right? Wasted talent, big time, right there with Jeff George.
Too bad.
Same now with Zach Wilson.
Okay, 5.5 is the win total. Under minus 125. I like it. I don't think they win 6 with the rebuild. Is this the worst team in the AFC?
No. I think New England will be. New England, they're in rebuild mode too, right? But they're rebuilding the front office and everything. The structure of that organization. It's no different. Like when you lose a franchise quarterback, we've seen teams suffer, right? Trying to replace that franchise quarterback. Now you're trying to replace a franchise coach, a dynasty coach, a dynasty front office that's worked for so long, cohesiveness and everything, continuity, all that stuff. So I know their division, you think about the AFC West versus the AFC East or whatever, but I just think structurally, now defensively, they're going to be okay, but are they going to win games? I mean, are they even going to score enough to win games? I think they got a long road in terms of their rebuild. Sean Payton's been there ahead of certainly what's going on in New England. So I think New England could be the worst team. Where
are you at with Tennessee? Mitch asked me earlier. Are they in that discussion or no? They're better than the two teams.
Callahan is interesting. I think when you follow offensive line coaches, and his dad's there with them, and those are legendary guys, right? It gives you a chance. And Tennessee and what they want to do. We'll find out about the quarterback position. I think defensively they'll be okay. That division is tough though. But no, I don't think they're going to be one of those worst teams out there. They'll be competitive. As far as the record, and that's what I'm sizing them up against when I'm talking about New England. I just think New England's record is going to be really poor.
Yeah, with that division, 3 other good teams in it. AFC West here, not quite as good as the AFC East. And you have to give Payton and the team some credit from last year because it was vile and nasty after the first 6 games. They were 1-5, and their defense was all-time bad. And it kind of flipped, and they turned into basically a playoff contender before they lost some games late in the season. So if they're not the worst team in the AFC, are they the worst team in their division? Do you think they finish in 4th place?
It feels that way. Kansas City, they just reload, they reinvent themselves. Think about this, guys. Kansas City, with what their personnel is, they got speed back now with Brown, and certainly they drafted well with Worthy. But they have the ultimate competitor at quarterback. And I got this from a great source, fellas, that this guy doesn't care about money and fame and all that. All he cares about is winning. And he's chasing something. He's trying to do stuff that's never been done before. This 3P thing, I think is going to be their mantra. It's going to be real. If they can stay healthy, Kansas City is going to be right there in the mix for that, right? The Chargers are going to be interesting because of Harbaugh. They'll be disciplined. They'll be physical. They're not going to fool anybody. We know what they're going to do. They're going to run the football and use play action. I think Herbert will be better in that regard. The Raiders is a team that I think will surprise people. And look at the win total, too, for that team. This is a team that has a ton of confidence right now, fellas. And they got a top 10 defense. You can even get them closer to top 5 in certain categories. The only question to me with this dominant offensive personnel, the quarterback position, who's going to emerge and who's going to be consistent enough to kind of support that, right? And if it is supported, if this cast of characters on offense is supported, I think the Raiders can score enough, right? But the Broncos, clearly rebuild mode. And I'm looking at the quarterback, certainly, and that's going to really determine everything, right? And I think when you look at quarterback efficiency, more importantly, offensive efficiency in the red zone, that's where teams can take a leap. And that's why I mentioned the Raiders. I think they can be better, certainly with this personnel and this new coordinator that they have.
Yeah. They can't win 7 games, and Minshew's better than O'Connell. And the guy almost won a division last year, and good defense. You get Wilkins. I could see it. It didn't end well there in the relationship and how it played out with Peyton and Wilson. What do you expect that Russ does in Pittsburgh?
I think they like Russ. I mean, from what I gather, Pittsburgh's going to be Pittsburgh, Pauly. They want to run the football. They want to get the game to the fourth quarter, and they want a guy to not make a ton of mistakes, right? Russell Wilson is not what we saw back in his heyday. But is he a guy from a leadership standpoint in that locker room? I think so. I like the mix of players, too, for Pittsburgh. Like, you have to have enough veterans, savvy veterans, and really good players, right, at that veteran position to kind of solidify the roster, leadership, and all that. But the bulk of your team should be younger players. Think about when Kansas City won the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. I mean, very, very young defense. It's a young man's game. Like, I couldn't do what I did 4 years in the league after 9 years in the league, right? I mean, I couldn't do the same things. So it's a young man's game, and I think Pittsburgh's built that way. They're not going to change. They reloaded defensively. And then offensively, I think they're solidified with 2 guys that can get the game and manage the game and get the game into the fourth quarter and see if they can win it that way.
Do you like Mike Tomlin as a head coach?
I do. He's old school. I'm an old school guy. He's a motivator, more importantly, right? He lets his coordinators coordinate, and he's the head coach. And I like that structure. There's a reason why he has not had a losing season. I mean, he gets these guys to do things and to believe in the things that's necessary to be successful. Whether or not that's going to get them through the playoffs and into the Super Bowl, who knows? But the structure is there, the pedigree is there, the blueprint is already there, and you just got to follow it. And I think he's been consistent that way.
So, Pritch, maybe a couple of bets here then. You mentioned watch out Raiders win total over 6.5. Did you have anything there with the Broncos, though? I know you said not worst team in the league, but would you go over 5.5 with them too?
I'm going to wait and see because I want to get through preseason. With a young team like this, look at LaFleur and what he did with Green Bay as they got better, right? Now, Bo Nix and Love, I mean, look, it's different. But it's the same kind of offense, kind of thing structured. Do they have enough playmakers? We'll see. They're a young team. But if they improve, Mitch, then, I think they can surprise people. People will look at the schedule and say it's daunting, which it is. But injuries are going to happen. We know that. It's 100% injury business. We're going to see that. So if they got to get lucky to get to that win total. But we also have to see them improve. But I want to see what their starting point is going to be, certainly when preseason starts.
That's totally fair. You got to see what Nix is going to look like if he's going to be the starting quarterback in week 1 and beyond. Pritch, great talking to you, man.
You too, guys.
Yeah, have a good weekend.
All right,
there you go.
Thanks, Mike.
Mike Pritchard on the Progressive Guest Line. In Pocket Plays. We'll recap our bets from yesterday, tell you what we're betting today, coming up next year on VSiN.
If his girlfriend was not
These games are a burial, a blowout, a human lock. You can bet your children's unborn children on these games.
I was so good that whenever I bet, I could change the odds for every bookmaker in the country.
All right, so the Oilers have dominated the last 2.5 games here. Yet at home, Game 6, they're only $1.10. How about that? $1.12.
Money coming in on Florida again today.
Yeah, and we'll see if they finish it off. And I bet them before the series, minus 130. I did take a little 7-1 on Edmonton. But cheers. I hope we come in. I like to see a Game 7, though. See if Edmonton can get it done tonight.
Did you say cheers?
Yeah, cheers.
Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love the second period over. I mean, Bernstein likes the game over. We've had 3 straight overs. We've had 3 second period overs. But how it's played out is it's been a little nervy in the first period, and then all hell breaks loose, just like last game. Over 1.5 in the second period, minus 145, and adding, as Bob Costas would say, the Denver Broncos under 5.5 wins, minus 120. There's only one game on the schedule I could say, okay, they'll win that, and that's Carolina at home. It's a tough schedule, but certainly I'm not.
8th hardest.
Yep. But why I got off the division, they close with the Chiefs at home. Kansas City might sit people like they just did last year against the Chargers. You might get, who played that game? What was that? Gabbard, I think? So the Chiefs might be in position where they don't even play anybody January 5th. And the division, the 2.5 wins under minus 150. I can't find 6 wins here. Can't do it. And I can make the case that New England's better. But under 5.5 for the Broncos as it starts out. Seattle, Pittsburgh. I love that they play Wilson right off the bat. Tampa, Jets, Raiders, Chargers, Saints. Nah, not going to go well for Peyton in year 2.
All right.
Great coaching job last year. I agree with you. But under 5.5 with the Broncos.
All right, cheers.
Sure.
Okay, Harry Kane, winner yesterday.
Yep.
They scored 1 goal, plus 145. That got there. A 1-1 draw at Denmark.
Yeah, they're a little frustrated, concerned. That's what Southgate does. I mean, it's
right.
We're too conservative.
So moving forward with today, hopefully we can pick up a couple of more units. Well, at least one more, because we're going to go Jack Flaherty over 6.5 Ks. It's even money. Broke this down earlier. Talking to our K specialist here at VSiN, Justin Emery, and he likes it. Hinch said this week that he should be good to go. He was pushed back 2 starts ago. And he came back, and I think he only went 5 innings. He's 11-2 to his K prop over. So I'll ride it one more time here as long as it's at least even money on 6.5 Ks. It's been 5.5 or 6.5 pretty much the entire year, and 11-2 to the over for Jack Flaherty. And adding, so I have Utah to win the national title like you. So 12 teams are making the playoff. If the number's right, I have to bet them to make the playoffs, right? It's like a golf tournament. If you're going to bet a guy to win it outright at long odds, why not bet him to finish top 10, top 20? So I'll bet Utah to make the playoffs. The best number available right now is plus 280 that I can see. Took a little bit on them earlier today. And that's where I'm sitting at. Klingon, first pick in the draft, 6-1. Some movement in the draft.
Come on.
I'm off next week, but I'll miss talking NBA draft next week. Because when you come on Monday, the odds today might look completely different in 72 hours.
Remember what happened with Paulo? How nuts that was.
That was one of my favorite weeks ever.
Jabari Smith?
It was just that is specifically that day being live on the air when the Woj bomb, the tweet bomb dropped.
The day before the draft, I got him 18-1 to go third. And he did.
That was
to the Rockets.
Okay.
Because I knew Chet was going. I felt confident Chet was going second.
Yeah. And so
when
Woj
keep a secret.
When Woj put that out, the market moved on him to go to. He was minus 10,000.
Right.
And Banchero was only down to like 5-1.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway.
All right. Good sweat. Good fun. Great job, guys. VSiN.com. Check it out. You got to read Wes Reynolds. And I missed this one, too. Wes Reynolds, he liked Kim. Kim's 10 under. It's early, but second round, they teed off early. He's 10 under. And he was your first round leader. So Wes Reynolds on golf. Nigel on soccer. Humans with NBA futures. Shoemaker WNBA. What? You got to be kidding tonight with this Lynx number. 6.5 against the Sun, who are 13-1? Oh, I know they just covered because they got Chelsea Gray back, but come on. That is crazy tonight. Betting guides, betting tools, everything you want. VSiN.com.
I want to point out one more real quick. I wanted to point out we missed this one. It's too late to jump in now because his number is down. The highest number I can see on Royce Lewis to hit a home run for Minnesota is plus 310. It's like plus 250 at other spots. That guy to me is like MVP good if he could ever stay healthy for a year. He's just bombing home runs every single game. And I think it was recently like he just came back from an injury. I think it was like plus 450, but home run after home run after home run, he's down to like plus 250 now. So I don't want to hop in today, but man, oh man, did we miss that with him. Big fan. Guy's awesome. He's got 9 on the year. And let's see here, going back quickly.
Another bad loss yesterday.
He's got 4, he's got 5, he's got 6 like in his last 8 games on a heater.
Okay. Joe Mazzulla watches The Town 4 times a week. I love the movie. Came out in 2010. It's fantastic. I think Affleck and Damon are doing a bank robbery movie coming up. But I just thought it was great cast.
I went to the theater for it, and I was super impressed.
And I dressed up as the nun for Halloween one year when they robbed the bank. And Renner is a great masshole in that movie. Does a great job. So he was on with Zach Lowe the other day, and I love Zach Lowe asked him, because he's such a fan of The Town, and it's a great movie. Like, what role would you play, and how do you describe what would you be like in a bank robbery?
I want to plan the whole thing, like attention to detail, like assign people to, like, find the people that you know's personalities and characteristics work for each positioning that you need. Like, I think it's all about the preparation. Like, I think once you're in that moment, you have to rely on the preparation similar to a game. So I would like to be the guy that plans it and hires the people and sets it in motion, or the guy that has to have steady hands, control his breathing to execute the safe.
All right.
So he's really thought about this a lot.
I know, yeah.
He's really breaking down that movie. This is kind of like O.J. Simpson. If I did it, here's what would have happened.
Yeah.
Talking about the murders here. I don't think. Do you want to answer that question? How
he was dead serious, too.
I know he was. He does. There's no smile on his face there. He's not having a good time. He's like, okay, I've thought about this a lot. Here's the breakdown.
I love the angle, and he would be John Voight in Heat, the guy who plans it. And then you plan the getaways and all this, and you do the homework on the cops, and right? Remember, he's meeting with the guy outside, and he's going through the numbers about how much money they're going to have in the bank that day. He goes, how do you know this? It's just out there. You just got to grab it. But John Voight's Voight's character in the Heat was awesome.
Yeah, every time that movie comes up, we'd say how underrated it is.
Oh, is it awesome?
Somehow it got lost in the shuffle.
Well, we got Heat 2 coming out. Yeah. Good. And I was also surprised. I knew it had a cult following, but I loved The Big Lebowski. Goodman, who just had a birthday. Bridges is so good as the dude. They have the drink here. The dude abides. But so many people chimed in and retweeted that as well. That has a big following. And we also had bad news. Donald Sutherland passed away. Canadian. Very upset what happened when the Blue Jays lost to the Twins and Guerrero got picked off.
Okay.
He had a great quote. He was 88. Unbelievable actor.
Oh, tremendous.
And go back. Don't have to watch the whole thing because it's long. Watch the scene in JFK. It's a 9-minute scene. It's just him talking to Costner. It's an unbelievable performance. He sits down there. He's talking for 9 minutes. It's just him going. How we can memorize that and do it. Love Donald Sutherland. But here is a bad beat. Didn't expect this interview to go in this direction. Sutherland on Rosie O'Donnell and when he had an incident with Kelly McGinnis.
Now, do you recall when we met? Do you have any memory of this?
In an elevator?
At the Four Seasons Hotel?
It wasn't with Kelly McGillis, was it?
With Kelly McGillis?
No.
No.
Oh, thank goodness.
Why? What happened with Kelly McGillis?
Kelly McGillis, I was wearing a very long overcoat. I came out of my room, a really long overcoat, down to there, black, all done up, and a beautiful coat. And I'm an older person. I got into the elevator, and regrettably, I was all alone, but regrettably, I farted. No, it happens, it happens. And if I get applause like that, I fart all the time.
Listen, there are very few actors who will come out and say,
well, no,
I tooted in the elevator.
But there was no odor.
No.
And
because of the coat?
And the doors were closing, and just as the doors closed, 2 hands came in and opened it up like that. It was Kelly McGillis and a couple of friends, and she looked wonderful. And I'm standing there, traumatized. And she said, Donald Sutherland, how wonderful. I'm so happy to meet you, and sticks out her hand, at which point I had to stick out my hand. The coat moved, and it was a disaster.
It was a disaster. What a bad beat.
Oh,
that happened to me. It's right. He said, why,
you think you're on? Yeah.
He goes, why? You go, why the applause? It's a bodily function. I mean, I regrettably, I farted.
Right.
You're by yourself.
It happened to you as well?
Yeah. You're by yourself.
Okay. You think you're okay? Okay. Here it goes. And then, no.
The coat moved, Mitch. The coat moved.
You just got to say, it wasn't me. The guy that just got out of here, let me tell you. The coat moved.
Watch the scene in JFK with Sutherland.
That's it for us. Stay tuned. We have shows all day long, including a numbers game. That's next. You can listen at vsin.com. Smoke them this weekend.